Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive with us. Today, we'll be exploring some ways that you can really level up your business English.
Yeah, like you can really stand out in meetings just by using the right phrases at the beginning.
And we've got some great ones for you, all from our website, which you can find in the description.
Exactly.
So, have you ever felt like a little awkward when you're starting a meeting? Like you don't know how to kick things off.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We've all been there, right?
Definitely. Happens to the best of us.
But with a few simple phrases, you can really project confidence.
Yeah, and make sure that the meeting runs smoothly.
So, are you ready to sound like a total pro?
I am. Let's go.
All right. So the first phrase is a classic.
Yeah.
It's short and sweet, but it's super effective. Thank you all for joining. Let's get started. Why don't you repeat that after me? Thank you all for joining. Let's get started.
Thank you all for joining. Let's get started.
Perfect. Now, this phrase is all about acknowledging everyone's presence.
Yeah, and it signals that it's time to focus and get down to business.
Right. But it's not just about the words themselves. It's also about how you deliver them.
That's so important. Like, imagine someone just mumbling that phrase,
Yeah.
not looking at anyone. It wouldn't exactly inspire a lot of confidence, right?
No,
Yeah.
not at all. But when you say it with a clear, strong voice and you make eye contact with everyone,
Yeah.
it shows that you're confident and in control.
And that you value everyone's time.
Right. You're basically saying, I'm prepared, I'm organized, and I'm ready to lead this discussion.
Exactly.
Now, let's hear how this phrase might sound in a real meeting. Let's say you're leading a team meeting about a new marketing campaign.
Okay, so everyone's settled in. You've got the whiteboard ready and all the markers.
All right.
You could say something like, thank you all for joining. Let's get started. We've got a lot to cover today as we brainstorm some fresh ideas for our upcoming campaign.
I like it. That sets a really professional tone right from the start.
It does.
All right, so let's move on to our second power phrase. This one is all about setting expectations and making sure everyone's on the same page. The phrase is, before we begin, let's go over the agenda. Repeat that after me. Before we begin, let's go over the agenda.
Before we begin, let's go over the agenda.
Great. Now, you might be thinking, is an agenda really necessary?
Yeah, especially if it's a more casual meeting.
Yeah. But even in those situations, having an agenda can really help keep things on track.
It's true. It's like having a roadmap for your meeting. Everyone knows where you're going and how you're going to get there.
I like that, a roadmap.
Yeah, and it prevents the meeting from just going all over the place.
Exactly. It helps you manage time effectively and make sure you cover all the important points.
Right, and it shows that you're organized and prepared.
Yeah, that's always a good look. So let's say you're leading a project update meeting. You could start by saying something like, before we begin, let's go over the agenda. First, we'll have each team lead give a quick update on their progress. Then we'll discuss any roadblocks, and finally we'll allocate resources for the next phase of the project. And then you could even open it up for any additions or changes.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, like if somebody says, oh, can we also talk about the budget for this project?
Yeah.
You could say, absolutely, we can add that to the end of the agenda.
Perfect. So you're being flexible, but you're still keeping the meeting structured.
Exactly. All right, let's move on to our third power phrase. This one's especially useful when you have new people in the meeting or if you're working with a larger group.
Okay, I like this one.
The phrase is, can we do a quick round of introductions? Go ahead and repeat that. Can we do a quick round of introductions?
Can we do a quick round of introductions?
Awesome. Now, this is a great way to break the ice and make everyone feel more comfortable.
Totally. Especially if people don't know each other very well.
Right, and it's a chance for people to learn each other's names and roles.
And maybe even a fun fact or something.
Oh, yeah, you could say something like, can we do a quick round of introductions? Let's go around and share your role on this project and maybe one thing you're looking forward to this week.
Oh, that's nice.
Right.
Yeah, it's personal, but not too personal.
Yeah, it's just a nice way to get to know each other a little bit better.
Right.
So someone might say, I'm Sarah. I'm handling the design aspects of this project, and I'm really looking forward to trying that new Italian restaurant that just opened downtown.
Nice.
Right. And then you, as the meeting leader, can follow up with something like, thanks, Sarah. That restaurant's been on my list, too. All right, who's next?
I love that. It keeps the energy up and it makes everyone feel included.
Exactly. So there you have it. 3 simple phrases that can make a big difference in how you start your meetings.
They really can. But remember, it's not just about the words themselves.
Right. It's also about how you deliver them.
Exactly. Yeah, it really is all about how you say it.
It's true. You can have the most amazing opening lines, but if your delivery is kind of flat or you seem unsure of yourself,
Oh yeah, you lose people right
it's
off.
not going to have the same impact.
Exactly.
Think about like a really boring presentation you've seen
I can think of a few.
where the speaker's just mumbling or avoiding eye contact.
Yeah, or talking in a monotone,
Yeah.
like a robot.
So you just totally zone
Yeah,
out.
it's like waiting for it to be over.
You're not engaged at all.
Nope. Not even a little bit.
So that's why we need to pay attention to our delivery.
Right.
And that means two things, tone of voice and body language.
Mm-hmm. Those nonverbal cues, they can make or break your message.
Totally. So let's start with tone of voice.
Mhm.
What are some tips for making sure our tone is on point?
Well, first of all, you got to project your voice.
Yeah.
Make sure everyone can hear you.
Yeah.
You don't want to be shouting,
No.
but you also don't want to be mumbling.
Yeah.
It's about finding that balance.
Like a nice, clear, strong voice.
Exactly.
That shows confidence.
Yeah. And it also helps to vary your pace a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you're nervous, it's easy to just rush through everything.
Right.
But if you slow down and take your time, it gives your message more weight.
Yeah, it allows people to actually process what you're saying.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to pause for emphasis.
Oh, yeah.
You know, those dramatic pauses, they can be really effective.
They can, as long as you don't overdo it.
Of course.
So what about those times when we just feel nervous?
Yeah, those pre-meeting jitters.
Like before a big presentation or something?
It happens to everyone.
Any tips for like calming those nerves and projecting confidence, even when you don't necessarily feel it inside?
Yeah, for sure. One thing that always helps me is to take a few deep breaths before I start speaking.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it just kind of helps to slow down your heart rate and center yourself.
Right. Like get you in the zone.
Exactly. And remember, a little bit of nervousness is actually a good thing. It means you care, you know, you're invested in what you're doing.
That's true. It's like you're taking it seriously.
Yeah, exactly. So don't try to get rid of the nerves completely.
Right.
Just try to channel that energy into something positive.
So it's not about eliminating the nerves, it's about managing them.
Exactly. All right, so we talked about tone of voice.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's talk about body language.
Okay, so this is all about those nonverbal cues.
Yeah.
What kind of things should we be doing with our bodies to project confidence and engage with our audience?
Well, first and foremost, eye contact.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Super important. It shows that you're confident and you're connecting with people.
Right.
Try to make eye contact with everyone in the room.
Even if it's just for a second or two.
Yeah, exactly. Just a little glance to acknowledge their presence.
It makes people feel seen and heard.
Right, and it shows that you're not afraid to engage with your audience.
What about posture?
Posture's huge.
Yeah.
You want to stand up straight, shoulders back, head held high.
Like you own the room.
Yeah, basically. Good posture. It not only makes you look more confident,
Mm-hmm.
but it actually makes you feel more confident too.
It's like a mind-body connection kind of thing.
Totally. And don't forget about your hands.
What about them?
Well, you don't want to just keep them like glued to your sides.
No, right.
You can use your hands to emphasize your points. you know?
Yeah. To like gesture and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But try to avoid fidgeting.
Oh, yeah, like playing with your hair or your pen.
Right.
That can be really distracting.
It's all about finding that balance between being expressive,
Yeah.
but also staying professional.
Okay, so it's about being aware of our body language
Mm-hmm.
and using it to our advantage.
Exactly. And the more you practice, the more natural it will become.
Right. Like anything, it takes time and effort.
But it's worth it.
So we've talked about opening phrases, tone of voice, and body language.
Yeah.
What else can we do to create a really positive and productive meeting environment?
That's a good question.
So we've covered those power phrases and how to deliver them with confidence. But creating a truly productive meeting environment goes beyond just the initial setup.
Right. You can't just nail the intro and then like check out for the rest of the meeting.
Exactly. It's about fostering that open communication throughout the entire meeting.
Yeah. Make everyone feel comfortable sharing their ideas.
Right, like when you think about those really great meetings you've been in,
Uh-huh.
the ones where you felt like you could really contribute.
Yeah, where your ideas were actually heard.
What made those meetings so effective?
I think a lot of it comes down to active listening.
Oh, yeah, that's huge.
Like, it's not enough to just sit there and, pretend to be paying attention.
Right, you have to actually engage with what people are saying.
Yeah, ask questions, show that you're really trying to understand their perspective.
And that can be hard sometimes. especially if you don't agree with what someone's saying.
It can be, but it's so important. Even if you disagree, you can still listen respectfully and try to see things from their point of view. And sometimes you might even change your mind.
You never know. So like in a brainstorming session, for example, if someone throws out an idea that seems a little crazy,
Yeah.
instead of just shutting it down right away, you could say something like, "That's an interesting idea. Can you tell me more about how you see that working?"
Exactly. And who knows, maybe there's a kernel of brilliance in there somewhere.
Or maybe it sparks a whole new idea that you wouldn't have thought of otherwise.
Right. And even if you don't end up using the idea, the person who shared it will feel heard and appreciated.
Yeah, which makes them more likely to contribute in the future.
Exactly.
And active listening, it's not just about the words you say. It's about your body language, too.
Yeah, like making eye contact, nodding your head.
Showing that you're engaged with your whole body.
It all adds up.
It creates that psychological safety that we talked about earlier.
Right, where everyone feels comfortable speaking up.
Even if their ideas are a little bit out there.
That's when the magic happens.
Yeah.
So how do we encourage that kind of creative thinking?
Well, I think it's about creating a culture where it's okay to take risks.
Yeah, and to not be afraid of failure.
Right. Like not every idea is going to be a home run.
But if you're not willing to swing, you'll never hit any home runs at all.
It's about embracing that growth mindset.
Exactly. Like seeing challenges as opportunities to learn and grow.
Right. And disagreements, they're not necessarily a bad thing
Yeah, they can actually be really productive.
if you approach them the right way.
Like as a chance to explore different perspectives and come up with even better solutions.
Right. It's about being open to new ideas, even if they challenge your own assumptions.
And that can be tough.
It can, but it's so worth it.
Yeah, in the end, it's not about being right. It's about finding the best solution for the team.
Exactly. So we've talked about active listening and fostering creativity. What else is important for creating that ideal meeting environment?
Well, I think we have to remember that meetings are ultimately about people.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
It's about connecting with each other, building relationships, working together towards a common goal.
Yeah, it's easy to get so caught up in the tasks and the agenda that we forget about the human element.
Totally. So don't underestimate the power of a positive attitude, a sense of humor, a genuine desire to collaborate.
Right? Like, even if the topic is serious or the stakes are high, you can still find ways to connect with each other on a personal level,
Yeah, and make the meeting more enjoyable.
which can actually lead to better outcomes.
Absolutely. So next time you're heading into a meeting, remember those power phrases. Focus on your delivery and embrace that collaborative mindset.
And remember to have fun.
Yeah, meetings don't have to be a drag.
All right, that's it for this deep dive into the art of starting meetings effectively,
We hope you learned some valuable tips.
and that you feel more confident about leading your next meeting.
Until next time, keep those conversations flowing. And remember, even small changes in how you communicate can make a big difference.
See you, everyone.
Bye.